Hey everyone, it's Nathas. I'm here with CardboardNewt, and today we're going to be doing a couple games with a post-errata Rumblespark, and then I will have a spoiler from the last winter today. So, how you doing, CardboardNewt?
Terrible that I'm playing against you.
Yeah, no, honestly, like I'm terrible too now that you're here.
I think I said the same thing to Lucas yesterday too.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
No, but I think this will be fun. And I know both of us are playing non-Dark Hearts this first one just to see, because now that like you don't necessarily like Dark Hearts, obviously still great with Rumblespark Elementalist, but the fact that like every time you transform, it's not a spell. I feel like you have a little bit more ability to play some of the non-Dark Heart builds and still feel okay about it. So my build is a triple vampiric with a shambler and a cutthroat stitcher, but there's not a ton of removal on the purple half, and then on the red half, it's kind of just like a standard Nova Elementalist. It's nothing super great. It's got like a Firestorm, Ice Storm, Warbringer Ritual, and then just some reasonable creatures, but it's missing a couple key cards, but it's still not a bad deck. It's just not what I want personally. I know um, other Sam, which I still regret calling you Sam when I say it out loud. Um,
Mm.
I know you're
I
playing. Do you
got
want
turned into a newt.
True? Do you want to talk through what you're doing?
Stomp, stomp, dinosaurs, elementals, per usual. I found out why we're getting an error. It turns out on this deck, there's no back.
Oh, because of it's the foil deck. So Sam is
Yeah.
using my foil deck from Worlds. So I guess you won't be able to see a deck list here. That's so funny, actually. That's how it comes in. It also
Mm.
doesn't show the alt art Sunder, um,
No.
but it also doesn't have the alt art Iceland's Magus. So that's kind of interesting.
Hmm.
Um, I kind of wish that it did, because that would have been really cool if when we imported it in, you would have been able to see all that alt art stuff. Like some of the Sketch Forge one, you can see the alt art stuff, but I know. Here, let me just quickly. I have the deck in front of me, I think, or it's somewhere on my desk, so I could quickly just talk through the deck list if I could find it. Yeah, here it is. So there's like a Burnout, a Chaining Stonefist, a Herald of Fury, Iceland's Mangus, Lightning Charge, Nova Elementalist, Raging Razortooth, Stampede, Tortoise Colossus, and Uranti Heartseeker. So it's pretty aggressive, and there's some dinos in it, so it's perfect for CardboardNewt because it's a double dino deck basically. Immediately when I showed them the deck, they're like, "I'm going to steal this." So this is actually my first time seeing it being played. I have not played it or played against it yet, so it'll be
I
cool.
think this is my first time playing it too.
Yeah, but we've talked about it a little bit.
We have talked about it quite a bit.
I am
And
glad though that you could at least see the Sunder. But yeah, so this will be
yeah.
interesting because neither of us are playing Darkheart. So both of us are going to be trying to flip and stick a Nova Elementalist, or sorry, a Rumblespark embodiment. Um, but at the same time, like neither of us are using the Dark Heart ability here, so we'll see what happens. But this will be interesting to kind of see like how we could take advantage and if either of these are playable now that there's no Dark Heart. That's super important. So what I'll do is I'm going to start by playing a Nova Elementalist, and I'll drop.
Cheating already.
Yeah, you know it. I am a cheater.
Um, I'll just play your anti-heart secret. You go ahead and play your vampiric creature.
I will.
How did I know?
It was like the perfect draw. More than Moose is like Moose is like cheaters gonna cheat. All right. I will activate this for no reason and then flip it around and then to you.
I should probably play something that sticks more than like anything else, right? So burnout.
Yeah. I also like how I think you brought the one of your decks in and then it's like to the side.
Oh yeah, that's the old one that I shuffled. I just yeeted it off the table rather than
I
dealing with
respect
it.
it. I was like, what's this deck in the corner? All right, so you do that and so yeah, it's got the plus
Yeah.
two and then the plus two. All right, I see how it is.
Yep. So I take 4,
Yep. Awesome.
and this goes down to 1. This goes down to 2. This should also be a. No, no, it should
That's
be a
five.
5.
Yeah, you know, you're good.
Burnout.
Yeah, burnout.
I did it correctly and then thought about it.
Yeah. If you want to not do it correctly, that's fine.
No, we're good. We're good. Um, I guess we'll play our own Nova Elementalist, Rumblespark Energy. This gets +2 attack for that. Over to you.
I think what's more important here? I am off Forge. It pains me to not play this card, but I think I need to play this card. I'm gonna start with a Warbringer Ritual.
Okay.
Drop this here, and then 2.
Okay. I'm gonna lightning charge here. And then there's our going trade. I might as well just buff that guy more. Why not? Back to you.
Interesting. So there's a move that I should do.
Uh-oh.
Then there's a move that I want to do.
Mhm.
I'm debating which one is more fun. I could. Is it worth taking 9? Probably not. And like, I also do need to level this card. So I technically could Infernal Ritual my Rumblespark, and then be able to flip again and block everything,
Oh, yeah.
or take 9 and flip. But at the same time, I was hoping that you would do that. But I think what we just do here is we're just gonna Ice Storm and kill that.
That tracks, yeah. That doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
You know it. All right, so these will trade.
Trade everything.
That'll trade.
Yeah, get your old.
Drop
There you
that
go.
there. I think we will. Things you actually have answers to this card, but it's okay. I'll do it anyway. And then 2.
Ooh, spicy. Destroy a level 1 creature, huh? I think that actually does force me to play something.
Good.
Oh, that actually requires me to do that instead. So if I do that, that way... Yeah, this actually is oddly the weirdest play, but the best play.
The fact that you did this first is interesting. And I'm a little curious why you didn't put that in front of the Grim Gaunt, which means there's something else coming. So I could do this instead. It just levels that up. It's not horrible, I guess. Although in this deck, this card's just not super great. Maybe against you. I'm looking at your, like, trying to look at the back of the deck list, and I'm like, oh,
The
like,
blank white.
yeah. All right. At this point, as much as I don't like this play, I think at this, with the leveling this up's not horrible. We're gonna Scorch Main, and we're gonna Flame Jet.
Okay.
And 2.
That actually rewards me, kind of.
Interesting. Let's see it.
Because I can just kill the Grim Gaunt now.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's the weirdest play, but it gives me the most options.
All right.
So I had to skip on Shard King for that one.
Good.
Um, I'm on the play, huh? All right, we're gonna go ahead and play Shard King. Get that cavern going.
I guess we'll Ice Storm killing both.
Oh, was
So
it 8 and 4?
yeah, 4.
Okay.
And then 2.
I got punished.
You know it.
I'll just replay him.
We will, at this point, which one do I care about more? We want this one. Vampiric Skeleton, I gain 2. This flips,
Yep.
which I'll drop here.
Yep.
Alright. This dies. It's not worth it.
Okay.
And 2.
You saw nothing. I'm gonna play that card.
Someone's got a lightning charge. Although if you did, you'd probably. Oh no, cause what's your? You got spell surge. Am I willing to death touch now? I could.
Good
Doesn't
death
feel
touch now.
great. So you do have a lot of other level 1 creatures that are not bad left. But this will be kind of annoying. You know what? Let's death touch now.
Yep.
And we will. I think at this point, let's do this. We'll Scorch Me and then we'll go 5 there.
Owie.
And 2.
So now I'm just trying to mitigate damage here. So that doesn't necessarily trade. That's going to get through no matter what now. So I guess we'll just play Sower and effectively just gain 3.
Yeah. Alright, so damage. So you'll take
Yep.
8.
Yep, 32.
Trees will take 4, and then this will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then trigger and kill
And
that. Yep.
all of my stuff dies. Last turn of the cycle.
It's interesting though, because even though I've been able to flip, I haven't really, because this deck doesn't have a ton of spells. It's like I'm kind of sitting in a situation where it's just the Rumblespark's just kind of a 4/8.
I'm gonna play that guy.
Hmm. Think. I feel like you have a plan for that, so we're gonna Spirit Leash it. Give it -4,
Ah,
-4. This will get +2, +2, and this will get +4 and 2. Punished.
I know, you keep punishing me. I guess we burn out and just accept my fate here. And then we go ahead and use this because it's the last time, so it goes up to 8 attack. That's all I got. I'm just gonna casually take 21.
I'll mobility this here.
Sure.
And then I'll Vampiric Necromancer here. Actually, we'll do it here. So I gain 3.
Yep.
You take 3, and then I'll
All
activate.
right. Yep.
We'll upgrade. At this point, what's against you? I guess we'll upgrade Vampiric Skeleton to a level 3.
Mm.
And then damage.
Okay, so I take 14, you take
Yep.
7.
Yeah. So then combat will happen, these will all die. You'll gain the thing, and then I can't kill anything.
Yep.
Alright, sorry, and I take 7.
Yeah.
Alright.
That Predator's actually getting me, which is weird.
Uh-oh. Hopefully we might have to hit the back button real quick because the skeleton didn't get shuffled in. There we go. Now we could end
Yep.
turn.
Looks like it's the board state, so we're good.
Yes.
You just didn't like my starting hand. I understand.
Alright, interesting. So we will start with definitely this. Deal 5, gain
Oof.
5. And then we will... Actually, I think we just win here. Yeah, we do. I'll Flame Jet Ya for free.
Yep.
And then
Stop
I'll
the
activate
speed of
Army
3.
Commander and then Flame Jet Ya again.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, well, well. I also had this. I definitely drew well this game, for sure.
I drew like I oddly well, how many spells do I have? I have 4 spells. Oof. Okay, that's why I didn't draw all those spells. I had either like hands with like no spells, or all of a sudden I had like 4 spells.
Yeah.
It's like okay.
No, I get that, and it's definitely I felt like you were missing a lot of what you can see. So maybe what I could do now is I think maybe we'll show the level 1 of my spoiler card before we go into our second game. How do you feel about that?
Wow.
So what I'll do is I'll just share my screen on Discord to you, Sam. We'll do share that. Go live. All right, so we're gonna go into my spoiler. So let me do that, and you could still see the screen, right, Sam? Or
I
my
can see your
Twitch.
screen.
All right, cool. So what I'm going to do
Mhm.
here is I'm going to hit the spoiler level 1 so everyone will be able to see what the level 1 of my spoiler is. I'm not going to talk too much about it yet because we're going to go into kind of the details of the card after the end. I kind of want people to speculate what they think that the higher levels will be from what they see at level 1 while we're playing this game. So the level 1 spoiler that I have is Desecrating Terror. So it's got 2 deploy abilities. So the first of all, it's a zombie mage. It's a 2/5 right off the bat. Um, the art is incredible. I love that there's a Yeti where it's like their soul is being sucked out of them, and there's just like it's an incredible art. Like I saw this card. Fletch actually sent me the art before sending me the card, and I was just like, I really hoped it was a Yeti as like the card type, and it was the Yeti getting destroyed. But the first deploy ability is if you have a spirit in your banish pile, give one of your creatures +2/+2. The second deploy ability is if you have one or more spirits in your banish pile, you may destroy a minion. So I will first of all confirm that this is a forged creature. Desecrating is the bottom ability, and Terror is the top ability. So that's all I'm going to give you for right now. So I want people to kind of think about this while we're playing our second game, and say like, hey, this is where I think the level 2 and level 3 card will be. So Sam, now that you're looking at this, what are your thoughts? Because this is your first time
Uh,
seeing this as well.
yeah, I think the level 2 ability is when one of your elementals deals damage to your opponent, it flips into 4/8 that gives +4 attack per spell plate.
Yeah, no, that would be pretty good.
I mean,
Uh,
but on a more serious note, the desecrating is probably going to be either like Bone Scythe Reaver, I'd imagine, or so scale up like that, or it would, I'd imagine that, or a Tinker, or it just might be static. And then the give one of your creatures +2/+2 seems like a decent ability, but it definitely need to scale more after that.
for sure. No, I agree with
I,
that. And what I will say is, first of all, I'm just really excited that Spirit Tribal is going to be a thing. So looking through set 1 and set 2, if I'm not mistaken, there's only 2 spirits outside of Necrom in set 2 and set 1. And one of those spirits is Relentless Wanderers, and the other is oh my god, I'm blanking on the name. It's the plant spirit.
I thought Aloyan had a spirit in set 2.
Does it actually?
Thought so.
Let me
I
look.
could be wrong.
I had the card to the side. I can't believe I'm blanking on the name. Mystical Tangle Sprout. There we go. It's just a card that like I see so rare, but it's like actually a pretty fun card. But those are the two spirits that I was able to identify outside of Necrom, which means obviously there's going to be more spirits in the next set. There's been a couple really cool spoilers so far. Um, but I do find it really interesting. Oh, Lightforge Sentry is the spirit. I actually forgot that was a spirit. Awesome. So
Haha.
we do
See?
have a couple options right now with decks that already exist. What I will say is that this makes me very excited that there's gonna have to be enough spirits, at least in Necrom, moving forward, and hopefully, like obviously we've seen in Utera from some of the spoilers, like haunting as a keyword that adds spirit to the creature type. I think that's a really cool modifier, and I hope to see a bunch of haunting cards. Um, but yeah, so far this is the level one. So like I said, me and CardboardNewt are going to play another game, and people, if they want to speculate what they think the level 2 and the level 3 are going to do, after this next game, we're going to reveal the next levels of this card. So Desecrating Terror, definitely a very cool one. So let me get back to the gameplay board. We're going to get to the level 2 soon. Don't worry. So let me reset the mod. So Sam, did we decide that we're going to do our worlds decks into each other?
I think that's what you told me.
What I've decided. I think it'll be interesting because again, what I will say is out of all the decks that my world's deck has played into, Rumblespark Elementalist is Nova Elementalist is the hardest matchup for it. And one thing that me and Sam have talked about a bunch is that it is an incremental advantage with the new errata. But I do think specifically in this matchup with the deck that I'm running, that I ran in Worlds, the extra interaction of the flip off death is pretty hard for my deck to deal with, and I do think that it's like an incremental enough advantage that could put it at least closer to like a 50-50, maybe 55-45, instead of me being at like a 40-45%. Um, if we have time, like so, 'cause weekends like do a best of three. Let's see it. The one thing is, I know Sam, you have a time constraint here as well, so we'll do at least one. Let me stop sharing my screen to you, so now you can't see what I'm doing because I don't want you to be able to cheat.
For you. I do actually have your stream up. I'm covering it with Discord.
Good. The funny thing is,
Well,
like, this will be my first time playing this since Worlds. I got to make
yeah,
sure I even loaded the right deck.
I'll just do what I did last time, last stream I was on, and start summoning Mega Gizmos out of nowhere,
Yeah,
and then everything will be
perfect.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that. I was doing a fantasy football draft yesterday night, so I didn't get to watch the stream live. So I need to go back and watch the replay. And you were like coming at me with the what's it called? Like we right when we got on the call, you were like, "Hey, look at what I got," and then you showed me the mod, and I was just like, "You're dead to me."
I'm a heathen. I'm a monster.
All right, so even though this card is the worst card for me to play, actually, I hit
I
start. You
can
didn't
play
even,
Corrupt Drone right away.
even though you didn't move your Forgeborn out of the way.
I'm playing Sunder.
Let's actually see what you got in this one. Oh yeah, I know the red deck because you tend to really enjoy playing my decks. I respect it. And then let's see, Cersei. It makes sense why you go Sunder. Yeah, I remember I played against this before. This is a really strong deck. I do think
Yeah,
you do have a bit of a downgrade because of the Dark Heart ability, but at the same time, there's so many good cards in here that still interact well. It's going to
yeah.
be tough for me.
I have Doom. I have Great Pact. Like, still, my removal works pretty well.
Yeah, and like what we'll do is like as we're playing, let's point out situations where it's like, ooh, the errata is actually making a difference here. If it comes to that, like it might not actually
Yeah.
do that at all. So I will start with the corrupt drone because
How did I know?
I'm on the forge. I'm gonna regret it, but we will upgrade. Oh,
Ooh, Polymorpher.
actually, hold on.
Ooh,
I was not looking at my hand. We're not upgrading polymorpher. I lied.
you're not. You just took the level 2 into
Yeah,
your hand? Wow, absolute
we are
cheater.
going to upgrade Summoning Council.
Mhm.
Not that I'm going to play a Polymorpher. I was so distracted talking. I was like, oh, I didn't actually look at my other card. I just saw the drone. I'm like, the drone's coming out.
All right. You played a 3/8, so I'll play a 2/8.
I respect it.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I don't have the kill right away, so you might be able to flip this turn.
Hell yeah. That's what we like to hear.
So as a result, I know you're going to block that. That's going to do that. So we do play the Polymorpher.
Okay.
The question is, I know you're going to kill it with something. The question is, what do I want to deal damage to? If I hit that with 5, hold on one sec, I got to double check. It's been a little bit since I played this deck. The Walker doesn't kill it.
Yeah, I get it. Your
Nothing.
deck is like 4D chess.
Yeah, we'll go here, and
Mhm.
if I do that, is it worth it? No, I'm going to make you block everything. Although everything blocks favorably, I hate you. We'll just do that.
Okay. What if instead of blocking stuff, I just ignore everything?
Do it.
Okay, I'm going to disintegrate Corruptron.
Alright, that's reasonable.
So I gain 2, you take 2. And then I'll take 7.
Alright, let's do it.
This is just great. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to just do the skip. Rumblespark energy, because it's the play, not the transform. We'll go ahead and activate Dark Art Sorcerer and then play Rumblespark.
Yeah. So I take 2.
Yep, and I gain 2. And over
Alright.
to you.
We will start. Yeah, that's the move here. We're going to play a Forge Seal, and we'll do it on the Mystical Polymorpher. I gain 3 because I have a Spirit in play. I
Yep.
will activate the Polymorpher. I will destroy Dark Heart.
Checks.
And then 2.
I'm going to play Stampeding Mongosaur. I'm going to deal 5 to Rumblespark to kill the Polymorpher.
Yeah. Is that
Back
it?
to you.
Alright, we'll
Yeah.
go that for that.
I guess technically I should have open laned the Mongosaur, but also I know you have some amount of Spirit Synergy that I just don't want to deal with.
Think this is still worth it. And do that. I'm okay taking that much to go into next turn, and we jump that, kill that. Yeah, we'll Dizzy and Siphon. I gain 3, you take 3.
Yep.
We'll destroy this. We'll go
Oh, Mantis.
Soothing Mantis. I gain 2. And then we will activate and kill Nova.
Yep, makes sense.
Alright, so this will take 1, I take 4.
Yep. Gained a bunch of life just to take 4 damage.
Yeah. Against you, we do this first. We'll Botanimate the Mongosaur. I gain 2.
Yep, Mongosaur becomes a Wisp.
Good. And then 2.
That actually changes my play. I'm going to go ahead and play Cerazol. Get Night Aspect. Night Aspect has been played, so +4 attack here.
Nice.
Over to you.
I'll use that. That is a card, which at the end of the day, that's probably what you have. I think I'm still okay with it.
A lot of your good cards have been played too.
So this
Cersei's
is
Call.
3 spells.
3.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
did Botanimate, Cersei's Call, and then we've got Night Aspect that was played. So oops.
Yep.
We'll go 1. 2, do I want to take out that Wisp? Yeah, I do. There, there, there.
So I actually have a couple choices here. Unfortunately, I think it is this card because this is the most level gated card. So I'm basically choosing between Flame Sculptor Seal, which deals 3, or Dreadbolt. Since you don't have another play, I can go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
So either way, obviously the zombie's going to die, so I can push 12 damage because that's pretty important. It's just a matter of do I want to set up for a mage and then Dreadbolt something later. But the thing is, I think that a lot of your really good cards are currently level 2. With the exception of Necrotic Walker. And Spring Dryad, I guess, but you're not really going to play Dryad against me, I don't think. So it's kind of like Necromancer still 1, but Necromancer 1 doesn't really matter. So I think I do have to Dreadbolt.
I agree with that, 100%.
So yeah, Dreadbolt. Proc here.
Alright, so you'll
Move to
take
combat.
3, this will take 2, and then I'll take 12.
Yep.
Alright.
Looking at chat, they're telling me and seeing if I can actually make the right play. I see how it is. Being personally attacked. You have to destroy a level 1 creature, so I'll just play Cerzal 2 over to you.
Interesting. So I have to deal with that. I don't really have a choice, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I can't let this flip, so we'll Botanimate here. I gain 2.
Yep.
And then 2.
Technically, this is pushing more damage. So we'll just make that guy.
Yep.
Over to you.
So at this point, we do definitely this. So we're going to go Mystical Polymorpher.
Yep.
We drop the Wisp here. I'm debating which of these 2 I transform. It's going to be this one. So that's going to become a Wisp.
You and your wisps.
You know it. And I'm just debating. Let's see what level 1s you got left. Is it worth keeping my ability here? I am going to basically keep this at 4. Most of the breakpoints are... This will die no matter what you put in front of it, so it's really not worth killing that to put it at 1.
What's the meme song of like there's one song in which it's like I'm spinning like a ballerina, and then the other one is like super intense.
I'm not sure. See, the stealth here, though, is definitely really strong.
Yeah. That's kind of like how our decks play, because I'm just over here, like, just vibing, not thinking, and then you're over here, like,
I actually
looking
have
through
to think.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, at this point, though, because I'm on off Forge and you have the stealth on the embodiment, yeah, we're good here. I'm not going to kill anything.
Okay.
So this will take 2, this will take 3, this will trade, and I'll take 12.
Yeah, you have a pretty good board state.
Yeah, I have a solid board state, and then I just need to hope that I draw Force Seal or Mantis just off the bat, and then that'll kill that, and I'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, pretty much. Here it is.
What do I want to do here? We will actually start with this. This is a weird line, but I think it's the right one. Maybe not. If I do this first, you do have the second play though, which is kind of annoying for me here. I think we do have to start with this. Yeah, the line I was thinking of is too greedy. So instead, we'll play a Summoning Council. We'll go Oakfather here. We'll go Wisp here. And then I'll pass to you.
I think I played the Flame Sculptor Seal to deal 3 to the Polymorpher. I was originally thinking the Wisp to get you off the spirits for Forge Seal, but you have too many spirits now, so.
At this point, if you have that, I'm in rough spot. But I think we're gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna.
Oh.
Alright, and then 2.
Oh, I get to be greedy.
Let's see. Let's see how greedy you get to be.
Activate Forgeborn ability.
Yep.
Get that Spell Sprite. Spell Sprite will go here. I can take the 8. That's fine. Play Nova Elementalist. Deal 3 to Aspirian through Flame Sculptor, and then deal 6 from Nova Elementalist.
Yeah, that'll do that. That was a pretty solid move here.
I chose that over Darkheart.
I respect it.
Yep.
I actually would rather the Darkheart. Alright, so yours will take 3.
Yep.
Yours will take 2. I take 16.
Yep, I take 8, 33.
Right.
Yeah, I played the Flame Sculptor Seal because I had Darkheart and Nova, and basically your play just kind of determined which one I played.
Yeah, not having the Force Seal or the Mantis there was tough.
Doesn't really matter.
No matter what, Sam is going to win this game. I agree with that statement.
Oh my god. So I can't do that anymore because that's level gated. So I think we just go ahead and play just something. We play a card. I think we need to level this guy up.
Yeah.
And over to you.
So we're going to do that after. I think we want to do this first. And we will do it. Placement's a little annoying here. But I think it's still the right move. I'm going to go Necrotic Walker here. I'll kill that.
That makes sense.
And then 2.
Okay, so I might as well. It's kind of silly to convert that to that at that point. So run and push damage. I don't like making this play, but unfortunately I think it is the right play. I'm just gonna red bolt the Oakfather.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm not gonna activate Elementalist because that's just gonna get more attack.
Yeah.
Like straight up, it's just gonna get more attack.
Alright, so then that's that. That's that. That's
I think I'm
that.
dodging anything of importance here because
Yeah.
Polymorpher's not going to get rid of that. The only thing you can really do is Mantis Forge Seal.
Yeah. So to me.
Yeah, to you.
All right. So I will start with a Dizzy and Siphon. So deal 4, gain 4.
Okay.
I will destroy the Necrotic Walker to play a level 1 or 2 card for free. I'm just gonna put this back here. We will go Soothing Mantis. I gain 3.
Yep.
I'll activate the Mantis. I will deal 6, gain 6.
Yep. I'm gonna put Rumble's Spark Energy there.
And then I will destroy level 1.
Yep.
And that is everything I could do. So this will take 3. This will die.
Yep.
Alright, so this will be a very important turn here.
Yeah, cycle 3 is where you shine. So
I was able to gain a lot of my life back though, which was important.
that's very important.
And this isn't horrible here. I think we have to. So you've got play a spell for free. I'm going to Forge Seal
Okay.
on the Mantis,
Yep.
and I'll deal 6, gain 6.
Yep.
And then to you.
So gross.
That's me.
Uh,
But see, it's interesting though, because the turn you didn't play the Dark Heart, if you were playing it with the old rules, I feel like Dark Heart's almost a must play. But because of the fact that like when the Dark Heart or when the Rumble dies, you have the ability to play um, the other move instead.
yeah. Yeah, Dark Art would have been more important, I guess. But I think even in the old rules, I still played it the same just because it pushed so much damage
That
and
is true.
you have to be aggressive against your deck. Speaking of being aggressive, I'm just going to make a 6/6.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Um, Now the question is, how greedy do I want to be? So I know this is
Oh
obviously
no.
the card I play, and the question is it greedy enough for me to want to do that as well? I guess we'll start with the lead the charge,
Okay.
and we'll deal 6, gain 6.
Okay.
But
Okay.
now my question is, do I also deal 6, gain 6 here? Like I should save it, I know, but at the same time, it's like going back up to 40 health and guaranteeing that if you have the removal, you can't like flip might be important here. Um, so next turn could be pretty critical. So the thing is, like, this will likely trade. You've got too many good cards that I want to get rid of if I don't. Yeah, with the breakpoints and with my walker, I feel like I can't. I want to, and you're gonna like dreadbolt right now, and I'm gonna be like, what have I done? But yeah,
Dreadbolt a level 3 Mantis or
yeah,
onto
you know
Mantis.
it.
I don't know. I don't think that's worth it. I think when you make an ungodly, like, high health thing, I should just dreadbolt that. But yeah, this is such a weird turn. So I was kind of hoping for that 6/6. Um, and now I have a spell for free, and I don't know if I actually want to burn it. I don't think I burn it. Actually, I really don't think I burn it. It's two of my 6 spells, so that means I have 4 spells left in my deck. This feels weird to do, but I think I just Dr. Frankenthal here. Not there. There.
You sure?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like the play, but it's probably a better play than I was thinking.
All right.
Because my other thought is burn to get Ghastly Renewal
Oh, I see what you're
to get the
saying.
2.
Yeah, it's
But the
probably
thing
that point.
is, like, I need these lanes open for more aggressive creatures.
The only
And
benefit of
while, yeah, I
doing
would
it,
trade it for Mantis,
yeah.
and I have better spells to use my ability on. Otherwise, I just get a 3/3, and a 4/5 is just better than 3/3, and that
Mm-hmm.
trades.
All right.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm good at that.
When actually looking at the comments real quick, on cast, why wouldn't I kill the sprite over the zombie with the mantis there? Zombie is a problem for future you. So I was actually debating back and forth between the two. Um, my thought here is that I have to hope that they don't have the removal. At the end of the day, like it's a lot harder for me to deal with the 6/6, and like I would have to keep jumping. Like worst case, I have a lot of options to remove that sprite the following turn off Forge. Like granted, that does give the opportunity to flip the Rumblespark, but it was just one of those situations here where I think future me just needs to keep as much life as possible, and like overall, it's going to be a lot harder for me to kill that zombie over time, knowing what resources I have left. So I was just like, we're going to take the risk, and it paid off here. Granted, if you had the removal for the mantis, it would have been tough, but knowing that 7 health is a pretty high break point. Um, or sorry, it was actually 6, 7,
Is
8,
that 7? Yeah.
7. Yeah, it's just a high break point where it's like most of your stuff can't remove it except for if you decide to get rid of something with the Grave Pact. At that point,
Yeah.
I'm happy that it's gone. Like that could have been Grave Pact fodder pretty easily as well. So it was just
The other thing is you have Polymorpher 3 that just blanks
that is
Rumblespark.
true. That is very true. And Botanimate 3 too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely I was back and forth on it though. I think it's a
Yeah.
reasonable.
I mean, for me, it's a 5-1 versus a 6-6, so I'll get rid of the 6-6 every time. Yeah, I get a 4-8 afterwards, but you have 2 answers to that 4-8 out of the
Mhm,
next 15 cards.
exactly. It's just it's easier for me to deal with that sprite later, especially off
Yeah.
Forge.
Okay. Um, how greedy do I want to be?
So greedy.
It's very tempting. I think I actually am going to be greedy.
Good. I respect it.
So I'm going to Doom Drake and hit you for 5.
Good.
All right, let's see if you have it.
Um, so I'm at 29. The question is like, let's see what's in here.
Hmm.
So I know what I should play, but also I know what I should play. And I'm going to play the card that's better because that's how I'm just going to win this game. So,
Army Commander incoming.
yeah.
I can't do that. I could just clear your board. Part of me wants to just clear the board just to be safe. I have too much like PTSD from when you wrecked me because I didn't remove one creature because of Forge Steel.
If you could remove both. Yeah, that was pretty wild. That was a game that was.
And it was literally just because I didn't remove both. So I want to deal 5 to the Mantis.
Yeah.
I'm going to activate my ability to Grave Pact kill Krogius. Look,
So,
if you have Mantis, you have
are you sure?
Mantis.
If you want to just look at my graveyard and potentially redo your turn, because you could look at my graveyard and see what's in here.
And the Forge Steel. Um,
You want to rewind?
yeah,
I'll just
let's
hit
rewind.
the rewind time button to make it
Okay.
easier.
It's, the only thing I'm going to change is Krogius stays alive.
All right, so this is back where we were, right?
Yeah, basically. The only thing is Krogius stays alive. So just do that.
All right, so
So
you're just
Mantis
killing
still
this.
dies. Yep. Leave the church.
So the thing is, it's like I have a couple options, and it's just how greedy do I want to be? Because like
Mhm.
basically at this point, like I part of me always wants to bring back the corrupt drone, but like there's no way for me to get the level 3 Krogaius and the corrupt drone here. So it's probably I just go Mantis, lead the charge into Krogius, and then just set up the win for the following turn. And I take the 4. Oh, and you get four attack on the Rumblespark.
No, I don't. Didn't
Oh,
play
you
a
did. You
spell.
did not play the Great Pact. Okay. And yeah, so then I guess what we do here, we'll go Mantis. I gain
There's the Nathas. How
5.
did I know?
I
How did I know
will
Nathas was coming?
activate.
You know,
We'll play the lead the charge. Play the lead the charge. So we're getting plus
yep.
25.
Yeah, plus 25.
So the
Yep.
thing is, like, I could corrupt drone into Botanime and get rid of the Rumblespark, but at this point, it's not really that much of a threat. I think it's
Nope.
just I'm gonna ideally just win after doing this for next turn.
Yep. There it is. It's like
All right.
return 2.
And do I kill anything? No, not yet. So I'll
Yep.
take 4. So I'll take 3. I take 4. It pains me to not play the drone here.
Oh, so gross. I did not kill you fast enough.
No, you did not. Um, I guess we'll just
Yeah.
get rid of that.
Sure. We both get wisps.
And then 2.
Uh, okay. Yeah, there's not much I can do here. I guess I just play that there. And that's all I got.
I will summoning council to replace these 2.
Yep. What's up, brothers?
And I guess just for the sake of it, there's no reason not to deal 6, gain 6.
Yep.
And then 2.
Oh, this blocks the most damage. This blocks the most damage. Actually, that does not block the most damage. This blocks the most damage. Kill a polymorpher, gain 3.
Yep.
You take 3.
And
And
that
I
was with
casually,
the free spell, correct?
yeah,
Alright.
I casually take 18, 26.
Yep.
So I'm down to 6.
Just takes 3. And these will
That's
trade. Oh.
5. This trades, yeah. This is actually an instance in which the night aspect changing does matter.
Yeah, that does matter, because at this point, if that did that, you would definitely... Yeah.
Yep. And Krogius takes 5. And yeah. Krogius is very imbalanced. So I just have to do, what, 33 damage?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Hmm. I have a way of dealing 10. I can do 10. So let's play the Flame Sculpture Seal, deal 5 to the Oak Father, and drain you for 3. Over to you.
Do we just force this now? Or do I do this? Like, there's a card I want to play, but there's a card I am going to play instead. Because it's the right move.
Makes sense. Yep.
Alright, and then 2.
Um, you're on to Elementalist. Trigger Flame Sculpture Seal, deal 5 to Oak Father, because you're just going to Army Commander that. So, free spell is Ghastly. So I get a casual 3/3. That's totally going to kill you.
Oh yeah.
And
So
then I get +4 attack, but the most damage I can do is 9, 7, so 16. Yeah, that's it.
all right. So yeah, I would just go necrotic walker, kill the zombie, army commander, necrotic walker, kill that. I gain 2,
Yep.
and then yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those situations where I'm able to gain enough life off of like if you can't kill me that quick, and you were putting a lot of pressure. It was just I had the right cards leveled after cycle 1, and then I was able to just kind of pick away
Where's
your
the
board
point?
and
You were
control it.
down to 9, and then you gained 13 life, and then you gained 12 after that.
Hmm. Yeah, and
Like, what?
yeah, it's crazy. That's the thing about this is that just out of nowhere I can just gain so much, and that's the thing with like the lead the charge being a utility there is really strong. But I do
Mhm.
agree because mentioned Mantis plus Seal won that game, not the Krogius. Um,
Yeah, 100%.
I agree with that too because that's the whole thing is they get me into the late game, so then I could push the damage at the end. So
Well, like all of your upgrade abilities between what drone, necromancer, forge seal, and mantis, just keep your deck consistent. So that way you can as long as you draw Krogius, you just win in cycle 3.
exactly, and that's the
And
thing
so,
because
it,
like I had the opportunity to like kind of do a weird line where I just play the corrupt drone back and then upgrade something, play it for free. But it's like at that point, I don't. There was no way for me to get the level 3 Krogius if I did it
yeah.
that way because the corrupt drone only would have been able to play something out of my hand. So it's like I was looking at that and I was just like, I could play the cool stuff that'll then let me play the cool stuff later. But I was just like, at that point, it's just this is the game finisher. So
Well,
I will say that knowing that you couldn't just drop a dark heart in front of one of my creatures or in while your Rumblespark was out made it so I could play it a little bit more aggressively, where I could
that's
do
true.
stuff just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to kill the
Mhm.
zombie instead of worry about that elemental because like I'm not as worried with the Rumblespark on the field, knowing that I could kill it if I need to, and it won't come back until after combat.
I saw Dark Heart all of 3 times.
That's true. Yeah, because you didn't play it one of the times.
Yep.
Um, But I will say that this is definitely. I felt like I had a little bit more comfort. Like usually against like a Rumble Spark matchup, I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat, being like, "Oh no! Like what shenanigans are coming out?" And at least here, like even though like obviously the Cerazal with the night aspect and the Rumble is really strong, it was just like again, I knew that I could kill it, and you couldn't like do as many shenanigans as normal,
Mhm.
and that just lets me not have to worry about like Dark Heart as much even.
It definitely felt more evenly matched. I think, like overall, I mean, your deck is kind of like the epitome of why life gain sucks.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%.
Um, but yeah, I think that after we're talking about, I definitely think that like if it was my deck versus your deck at post errata, you are definitely favored,
Hmm.
but not by much.
Oh, I agree.
Uh, you got pretty good draws. I got like okay draws,
Hmm.
so I think it's probably like I have like a 45 to 40% win rate against you.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, it's not like this is like going to completely steamroll it, but I think
No.
it opens up the avenue for a little bit more like even like decks that aren't at this tier. Because I feel like the deck I have is like the ideal deck that I would want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going into
Because
this
like
matchup.
cycle 2, turn 2, I brought you down to 9. Like if I
Yeah,
played 2 more spells, you'd be down to 1.
exactly.
There's
Now
yeah.
it's just one of those situations where it's like it just removes a little bit of that consistency. Like
Mhm.
you mentioned, like one of the transforms did not trigger, which is again another couple damage. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that it definitely makes it a little bit more comfortable, but it's not like an auto win. I don't know. Like, do you have time for one more? Or are you feeling done?
Um, check the time. I can do one more.
All right. So before we do, let me share my screen again and let me show the level 2. So people were mentioning what's it called what they thought in the chat. So let me go back and kind of read through some of this. So let me bring the level 1 back on the screen and let me um, share my screen to CardboardNewt once again.
Wow.
Actually, you said you have my stream up, right?
I do have your
All right,
stream up.
cool. Then I don't have to share my screen to you.
I see how it is.
All right. So This is the level 1. We showed it before. Desecrating Terror. So the level 1 has deploy if you have a spirit in your banish pile. Give one of your creatures +2/+2. And it also has deploy if you have one or more spirits in your banish pile. You may destroy a minion. So going back here, there was speculation from KC Kid. Does it follow the Tinker Path? More than most mentioned, typical buff scale +2/+2, +3/+3, +5/+5. More than most also mentioned the destruction effect can stay as a minion. Sorry, my little pin thing is covering. And be tormenting with better stats since it has a spirit in the banish requirement, or it scales as it targets. Bone Scythe Reaver scales minion level 1, level 2, but Polymorpher scales minion level 1 any. So if it scales, his guess is the Polymorpher branch. So that's interesting. Now let me see if anyone's posted anything else that they expect. So that's kind of what everyone has said, what they think the level 2 is going to be. So let me reveal the level 2 Desecrating Terror. So it goes to a 3/6. It has deploy if you have 2 or more spirits in your banish pile. Give one of your creatures +4/+4. And it has deploy if you have 2 or more spirits in your banish pile. You may destroy a level 1 creature. So as of right now, we are on the Bone Scythe Reaver path in terms of the deploy. And we are also scaling to +4/+4 instead of +2/+2, +3/+3, +5/+5.
That's the Bartok path.
That is.
248.
So we'll see. But what I will say, first of all, both Desecrating and Terror do need 2 or more spirits in your banish pile, which is interesting. So obviously, during cycle 1, or even if you drop this underdropped, 1 spirit in your banish pile means either you upgraded a card, or something's died, or there's just a way for you to get the spirit. So obviously, your wisps don't count. So knowing that there's going to be a lot more spirit synergy in set 2, it should be pretty easy, I hope, to get more spirits in your banish pile. Knowing there's a lot of self-destruction cards, knowing that there's a lot of ways for like you to, well, I guess, self-destruction, self-damage, anything that's kind of getting your own creatures back in the yard. So this is kind of a payoff for having your spirits in your graveyard, in your or in your banish pile, and actually playing them or upgrading them. So Sam, what do you think about this?
It's trash because it's your spoiler.
Got him.
It seems decent. A lot of the spirit stuff seems like it's going to follow a pretty good path. I don't know. And like seeing the whole like, oh, you just have to have so many spirits in your banish pile, especially like it's following the 1, 2, 3 kind of deal, kind of seems crazy strong to me because it's just going to always activate
Oh yeah.
in my mind, except for like maybe level 1. If you draw it like cycle 1, turn 1, but for the most part, it's going to activate.
So for desecrating, I almost feel like it kind of wants you to make your creatures underdropped, because I know Bone Scythe Reaver, you want to underdrop your creature, so you can kind
Hmm.
of destroy the minion. If it's an Oak Father at like cycle 1, cycle 2, or cycle 3, you're probably gonna get a little bit more value at it instead of destroying a level 1 creature later in the game. Now, because obviously you get a bigger buff later on in the game, I wonder how that's going to kind of pull you into, do I actually play this early, knowing I could either buff itself to make it at this level a 7/10, which is pretty big, just for a level 2. But in addition to that, you could just buff one of your other creatures. Like if you happen to have a Corrupt Drone, you could give that Corrupt Drone +4/+4. Um, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Like, is this something that you want to underdrop? Is this something as of right now that you feel like you want to drop on curve?
The terror half, I definitely want to drop on curve, just because that buff is really important. It's like Bartok in that aspect. As long as I have a creature, I'm gonna play it on curve. And then the deployability, the second the desecrating, yeah, I don't really play Bone Scythe Reaver too often because I don't really play those kind of decks.
Hmm.
But destroying a minion is generally more important to me than destroying a level 1, especially during cycle 2.
So,
Um,
so I guess as of right now, what creature do you think, from what you've seen so far, what creature do you want desecrating on the most? And you can think about that during our game, and then after when we reveal the third. Like, it's interesting because, like, obviously, part of me wants it on a spirit, because if it buffs spirits, obviously, if it's on a
oh
spirit
yeah.
itself, that could be really cool. Where when you play the level 2, there's already one in your yard or in your banish pile, so you only need one more. Um, but again, just being able to destroy a minion at level 1 like is pretty strong, and like destroy level 1 creature at level 2, again pretty strong as a modifier. Like again, people in the chat as well. Like I wonder what do you feel like from what you've seen so far, not knowing what the level 3 does. Like I feel like desecrating polymorpher might be fun from the
I
level
want
1
it
level 2.
on I want it on Spirit where it destroys itself when it's opposed.
Spirit, yeah, desecrating spirit.
Yeah.
It'll trigger itself, but then it
Mhm.
won't be there to trigger. Actually, would it? If the ability is on the like the batch, and you do the destroy itself first, and that is your second spirit, I assume then at that point it would be able to destroy the card, right?
Self-solving, let's go.
Right? Like, am I wrong? You think in that?
We need a judge.
Fletch, I feel like I saw you comment. I feel like it's got to be right. It's just like at that point the trigger would resolve. Yeah, yep. You check the triggers relative. So desecrating spirit would be pretty fun. It's just like a straight up destroy minion.
Oh man, I got Lucas last night with my Necrotic Spirit because I needed a minion on board because I was playing my Mad Lab deck. And I just like, okay, so I'm gonna play the spirit here and it's going to destroy itself. And he started laughing. It's like, I'm just getting a mindless zombie so I can kill you. That's all I'm doing.
That's so funny.
I know.
So yeah, so that's what we see so far. As we go through, so me and CardboardNewt are gonna play one more as long as we didn't take too long talking about this. Do you have time for one more?
Yeah, I suppose if
Do you
I
want
have
to
to.
do a rematch here, or do you want to play your one of our decks against something else?
We can do a rematch.
All right, let's rematch
It's,
this.
it's it's like a best of three because you're going to beat me in the second game too. So
All right, so let me reload the mod. So yeah, anyone who's here, what do you think the level 3 desecrating terror is going to do? And then let me get back our decks here.
gonna play a creature for free. It's gonna be a 4/8 that gives +4 attack to whenever you play a spell. That's what the level 3 does.
Say it again. So you think it's a?
Uh, Level 3 plays a creature for free, and it's a 4/8 that gets +4 attack every time you play a spell.
Oh yeah, the perfect guess.
Yeah. All right. I made sure to take my Forge Burn off this time.
All right, you ready
I guess.
to lose? No, I'm just kidding. We'll see. Because again, it's not like it's like a guaranteed situation, but me going second, that's what I love to see.
Okay. You going second is actually might change my plays. I'm gonna play Dark Art.
Interesting. Interesting indeed. Also, Movambi mentioned something needs a level 3 that reanimates spirits on activate. Probably not these Forge components, though. That being said, that would be pretty sick. With all the spirits that people are going to want in their banish piles, being able to reanimate them on command would be pretty awesome.
You have 1, 2, 3 answers to Dark Art.
I do. I'm going to play a Necrotic Walker.
Ah, poser.
You know it. All right, and then two.
Yep. Nova. Uh, get the stupid thing. I gain 2, you take 2.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So, what I'll do, I'm going to play a Dizzying Siphon. I gain
Yeah.
3. We'll destroy the Necrotic Walker.
Mhm. Hi, Alpha.
And
Would
we'll
you like to play SolForge?
Cersei's Call. So that is spell I played 1, 2. You
Spell 3.
played, yes, 3 spells. So this comes in after, and we'll go 1,
So all but 1 lane.
2. Do I want to chump? Is the
You might as
5?
well, right?
That's what you want me to say. Want me to do.
Okay.
Um, no, I'm just debating if it's worth it to have this on the board. Take 4, getting you down to 5. Like at the end of the day, it's not as critical. But you know what? Knowing that the Dark Heart doesn't trigger off death, I actually can. So typically, honestly, and
Mhm.
if we're playing old rules, I potentially play this in the open lane. Knowing that
Mm-hmm.
I could kind of kill this a little bit more comfortably, I think I could put this here, bring it down to 5, knowing I could kind of try to kill this. Because one of my fears, or one of my things I have to play around in the old ruling, is that if there's a chance that Darkheart could be played off Forge, or if there's a chance that Darkheart's already on the board and I can't remove it, I need to be able to make sure that the Rumblespark lives. So it's like I need to leave it at a high enough health where I can chump it with something later on in the game, to be able to like not have it die and not do the automatic flip back. So knowing now that I don't have to worry about that as much, I'm okay bringing the health down a little bit. It's something that I could chump a little better. So that's interesting. We'll
Yeah.
see if it punishes me, but I am going to do this, and that's a difference in play style because of the new rule.
Polymorpher would potentially also kill it now that you're bringing it down to 5 because it's
That
a
is true.
5/2.
That's a good point.
So, all right, take 3, take 3. So yeah, I think it definitely helps with like slowly whittling it down now because you can actually do that.
For sure. Oof. All right. So now I actually have a choice to make, knowing this what you're playing. I think this is actually a tougher call than it should be because I always get tempted,
Temptation.
and at this point, the temptation is probably not worth it. But I guess what we do just to be safe. At that point, if you do that, I'm fine. I'll feel okay with that. We will start with a Soothing Mantis. That's going to go
Ooh,
here. I'm going to gain 2, and I will kill the Darkheart.
yep, that tracks.
And then to you.
That does actually change my play, I think.
Good. That was my plan.
Yeah, yeah. That makes it hard. Yeah, because that doesn't work anymore.
Ooh, that's interesting, actually. So Fletch mentioned that Desecrating's stat modification is -1, -3, and minus something because we haven't seen the level 3 yet. And then the Terror stat modification is -4, -6, and minus something. So,
Well, we already know what the level 3 stats are, so
oh yeah, you're right.
yeah, because it's on the card.
Yeah, but it's not on the screen now, so people don't remember.
Oh, yeah. I
They might though.
remember.
Yeah, what was it then?
4/7.
All right, great.
Some of us remember things.
Yeah, I don't.
All right, I guess I'll just play Uranti Elementalist and not replace anything.
Interesting. That's very, very interesting. Oh, so it's -8 and -8 are the last two stat abilities that Fletch mentioned.
Because I
Man, like
remember
it's just one of those things where
mine's
it's
8.
like I
Wow.
I know what's too greedy. Like there's certain cards I don't play in this matchup, but it's like, do I play it again in this matchup? It's like I don't wanna, but I kind of do. And it's like looking at the board state. Do I play the
Sure.
drone? That's the thing. It's like usually I don't consider it, and right now I'm considering it, which is like, oh, I feel like lately I've been I've entered more of a temptation zone where it's like I'm tempted by the bad plays. Like in my fantasy football drafts, I'm like, oh, I'll take this player that I really shouldn't, but you know what? I'm gonna do it anyway. Um, uh,
Terror is the base creature, yeah. So Terror is base creature, and that's the one that like buffs attack and health based off the
man,
number of
it's
moves.
like I just don't want to take damage on my own, but you know what? Because the
You gonna
problem is
yell it?
I don't play the level 2 drone against you unless like I absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We'll do it though. Like,
Okay.
why not? I'm gonna regret it, but we're gonna do it,
There's the drone.
and we'll upgrade the necromancer.
Okay, you're forcing me to Grave Pact here.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Drone. It's nice knowing you.
That gets +4. Alright, so yours takes
To
1.
deal 8 damage to the Mantis.
Good.
And I take 3.
I'm okay with that trade. Because you probably, if I play the Necromancer instead, you likely will kill the Necromancer as well, I would assume.
Yeah, I had Stampeding Mongosaur.
And I got more value out of the upgrade there.
Yeah, so basically the choice was, do I let you upgrade 1 card or 2 cards? And the answer is 1 card. Always 1 card.
Always 1.
Alright, so I will go ahead and Flame Sculptor Seal, kill the Mindless Zombie, and then this will go to 12 and over to you.
We shall Mystical Polymorpher, drop out the Wisp, and then 2.
Ah, you fell for my trap card.
Good.
Cerzal.
Yep.
Kill the Wisp. Yep. And then give this guy stealth.
Sounds good. Is
G.
that it?
Yep.
Alright, so we will. I'm willing to take that damage. The one thing that you've prevented is the Xerath's Will, because now I don't have a Spirit in play.
Yep, that's why I killed the Spirit.
Well, I
Not
knew
the
that's what
mate.
you were going to do. Well, also because you have the Stealth, obviously.
Well, yeah, that could technically set up for a future turn in which you can't kill Embodiment as easy, but
Mhm.
the Spirit's still the right choice
But in
because
this
it pushes 4
situation,
damage.
I'm actually okay because I've upgraded all the cards I need to upgrade basically in this situation.
Yeah,
So we Forge Seal here, we activate, and we actually kill this Aerosol here.
that makes sense.
And I'm taking 20.
Yep. Yeah, preventing you from life gain is kind of like I
Yeah,
have to.
because
It's
like
a must.
I did have the Xerath's in hand, so being able to prevent that, like I had to play out the Polymorpher first.
Well, that and I'm on a clock. I have to beat you by turn 6.
That is true.
So
All right, so how do I want to handle this? Um. So let me just double check what you've actually upgraded.
sure.
So you've not upgraded Dreadbolt. You have upgraded Grave Pact. You have upgraded Flame Sculptor Seal. You have not upgraded Disintegrate. It's interesting. I think. Ugh. I can't. Right. Right. um. If I do. I don't like being on Forge this turn, I will say.
Yeah, I like being off Forge this turn.
So I guess I could, but then you also can do that actually. Let's see what level. You know, that's kind of greedy, but I think that's the move here.
Go for it.
I don't like it, but it literally puts you down to one option of card to have, or I guess 2 options. So maybe I don't do it like that. Could do this, and then you do that. Ugh, I don't like either of these options, to be honest. I really don't like that. So I really shouldn't do it if that's the case. I hate the position you put me in here.
Good. I'd like to hear that.
That doesn't help me too much. That doesn't help me too much. I think I have to hope for the best. Now you don't have 2 cards.
2 cards.
I guess the other
Um,
option is this. I don't like that either. I don't like any of these plays right here, but I guess what we'll do is we're going to lead the charge here.
mhm.
And we're going to kill this.
Okay.
And then 2.
I'm going to Flame Sculptor Seal, deal 5 to Polymorpher.
Alright, so you do have the mage. So at this point, that tips your hand a little bit. And I think now I could be comfortable doing this. Yeah, I can. I'm going to replace the Polymorpher with the Corrupt Drone. I'm going to take 5. We're going to upgrade a
Yep.
Botanimate, and then 2.
It kind of tipped my hand. The other option was I had a Chaining Ice Crusher into Dreadbolt.
Yeah, I assume Dreadbolt was in your hand. It's just
Yep.
more of, I had, like, by you removing the health, I was just like, alright, now I got to put this in front.
Nope, makes sense.
It was just, that was a
'Cause
horrible
now,
hand. So I also had a Bone Scythe Reaver and a Zithian Dreadmaw. I was just like, there
yeah,
was not much I could do there.
I think I'm still going to play the Mage. Mm, Probably not in the Flame Sculptor Seal, though. So we'll just play it over here.
Yeah.
Okay. How
Alright, so
about
these
these
will
guys play?
trade.
And then Rumblespark probably goes here.
Alright, and then in this situation now, I'm feeling a little more comfortable.
Yep. Got a good position here. Um, Dark Heart over to you.
Hmm. So you are on Forge.
Mhm.
Make that. Um, how do I want to handle this now? I think we have to drop this. It's gotta go.
Yeah.
Don't have anything to remove, but it is what it is. And this will
Mm-hmm.
go here. And then 2.
Because you can't replace anything. Because I was looking at the polymorphers, like, why didn't you trigger that? And it's like, oh, right, because you can't. How greedy do I want to be? Probably not very. Let's be safe. So you're onto Elementalist.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna resolve Flame Sculptors. This hurts. Deal 5 there.
Yep, and this is in the front, by the way.
Yep. And I get to play a level 1 or 2 spell. It is going to be Grave Pact. I'm going to sacrifice the Elementalist to kill a Polymorpher.
Okay.
Drain you for 3. And then double flip.
Yep.
I think this is just harder for you to deal with than just a Rumblespark with stealth.
No, I get it. No, you're in a good spot here. So I also
Mhm.
missed a couple important cards. So at this point, I'm gonna take the 10. We are cycle 2, turn 2. It's gonna take a miracle for me to get out of this one. Actually, do I take the extra damage? Am I willing to take? Because I will be on Forge. I'm debating going to 18. Or I'm debating taking 18 going to
18
2.
to
Um,
2. That's scary when it comes to Dark Heart.
although I guess this will technically still live. So
You have to hope
no,
for.
I gotta block 4 of it. So what we'll
Yeah,
do is we'll go Spring Dryad here. I'm gonna take
that makes
14.
sense. Okay.
Oops, too many.
You didn't want to block the 10?
Sure. All right, I'll take 4 here.
All right.
All right, so this is gonna be critical here. What can I do? Um, I think we have to start here, and it's gotta be. What's more important? Probably that.
Yeah, you're definitely playing way more risky now.
Yeah,
You're
it's
letting your lifestyle go low.
this was one of those situations where unfortunately it's just my hands have not lined up with what I need, so I've got to kind of play it a little riskier. Um,
Well, just in general because of the errata.
I would say no matter what, like there was not much. The only difference was playing the drone twice, but I also
Well,
knew that it was the only way that I could make it so I don't take the 20 to the face from the removal.
mhm.
But it was just there was been a lot of situations where I haven't drawn the cards I needed.
I
But
was
that be
thinking of both this game and past game as well because the last game you went down to 9 as well.
oh true. No, this deck it definitely could it could go down, but whew, this one I got to think about.
Sure.
I think here I've got to go with that first. So we've got to start with the Forge Seal.
Yep.
I'm going to activate, and I want to deal 6 to Dark Heart, gain 6.
Okay.
And then 2?
So if you did not have Forge Seal or a way to gain life, and it was or as pre errata, I would have been able to kill you.
Oh, yeah. So, is it the same line that you still play? Or?
Might be. But I think I actually no. It's a similar line. It's probably still like the same ish. I just gotta confirm that is actually the line I want to do. That'll just be pushing damage. Oh, fine. I'll do the same line still. So it's gonna be Doom Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Sacrifice the embodiment to hit you in the face for 5.
All right.
So that would have been 8 damage if the errata didn't happen.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're basically putting it in the lane here.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So
Yep.
yeah, sacrifice it, get this guy, hit you for 5. Now none of
Yep.
deals dealt damage to you. It flips. But
Oh.
if this was a spell play, then I would also get the Dark Heart trigger. R.I.P. Dark Heart.
Although now, unfortunately, um, because that's also not a spell, it makes my life a little harder. Because I played the Cersei's Call, which is only 2 zombies.
Oh, no Cersei's Call for you. But you do gain 2 life.
Yes, I will. So I have to block here. And the question is, do I kill the Dark Heart or try to kill the Dark Heart and take 4? Because the thing is, that'll live, so it's not going to be able to flip there. That's in the back. I
Okay.
think I am willing to take
Um,
the 4, and I'll gain 2, go to 9.
I was going to tell you that it doesn't matter.
All right, let's see it.
I just disintegrate.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that game for sure. Getting the early flip and then
Early
controlling the
flip and
board.
then also getting that double flip at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was I guess 2 or 3 hands in a row where I just drew kind of like the cards I don't want to see in this
Mhm.
matchup. And like the fact that I had to play drone or that I was even tempted to play the drone was like a little brutal because I wasn't seeing the removal I need to see. But it shows that the Rumblespark deck is still very strong. Like you I guess didn't immediately win that game because of the fact that the Rumblespark was destroyed as part of the Doom trigger. So it did push a little damage back. So if we were a little bit closer in life and I hadn't taken as much damage, that definitely could have helped. The stealth actually is a lot harder for me to deal with than anything else here because of the fact that like I could make chumpers pretty easily off Forge, but being able to kind of say, hey, there's 20 damage that if you can't remove it, there's nothing I can do about it, or like you're going to take 16 to 20. That's what makes it a little bit harder. So I'm kind of happy that we didn't face during Worlds because it would have been
Well,
definitely,
yeah. When we were
def
playtesting, like Necrotic Walker wasn't good against my Rumblespark decks because you couldn't create chumpers.
yeah, exactly. Because
It was good
yours
for removal, but that's about it.
exactly because a lot of yours either have stealth or breakthrough or things like that. So I do think that obviously the Dark Heart gets a little bit of a down tier in the matchup. It's still a great card because you dealt a lot of damage with that Dark Heart. That being said, the Rumble, I guess, didn't make as much of an impact because of the Dark Heart, but it made the impact because of the stealth, I would say, for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
this deck is also unique in which Dark Heart hasn't been like it was really like a must play before errata, but it doesn't play like it because there's
oh, for
only
sure.
6 spells in the deck. Like you don't need Dark Heart. um,
Exactly.
so that's kind of why I've liked this deck a lot, especially when I brought it to Worlds because it's just like, oh, I have like 30 different lines I can play, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much how I was able to just run my whole way through the the Swiss, and then immediately lose to weekend. But
Yeah, and that's the thing though, where it's like the decks that have a lot of lines and a lot of options tend to be ones that push a lot of damage and tend to give you an advantage. Because, for example, like if you don't draw your Rumblespark element or your Nova Elementalist, or you're able to get your Rumblespark out, like you have like the Cerazal, you have a lot of other ways to push damage that some
yeah,
other Nova decks don't have. So that extra
Ruin Scarred,
line,
good
yeah,
old Ruin Scarred.
yeah, that card's so good. It's a card that I don't play enough. All right, so let's reveal the level 3 of the spoiler. So you said you're still on the stream, correct?
I am, in fact, still on the stream.
So what I'll do is I'll quickly bring up the level 1 and the level 2 for anyone who is here who did not see them so far.
Ah,
So
you have Krogius in your hand?
I
Wow.
did. So we've got Desecrating Terror is the spoiler card for today. So it's a zombie mage. So it's got deploy if you have a spirit in your banish pile, give one of your creatures +2/+2. It's got deploy if you have one or more spirit in your banish pile, you may destroy a minion. So Desecrating is the bottom ability, and this is a modifier, and Terror is the top ability. So this is the level 1 of that card. First of all, and as well for anyone who's first seeing this, like the art is incredible in my opinion for this one. I'm really excited about Terror as a card because of this art, and I will definitely be playing it. So the level 2 of Desecrating Terror, it jumps from a 2/5 to a 3/6. It's got Deploy. If you have 2 or more spirits in your banish pile, give one of your creatures +4/+4. It also has Deploy. If you have 2 or more spirits in your banish pile, you may destroy a level 1 creature. So some people have been commenting what they think is going to be the level 3 ability. Um, so let's see. I'm just going to scroll back real quick.
You can, in fact,
Um,
see that the level 3 is a 4/7.
yes, that is true. So we know it's a 4/7. And it looks like more than most mentioned, they got the scaling right for the desecrating. They did get the 1, 2, 3 spirit requirement. They like the design since if you have a deck with one spirit, it's always possible to meet the requirement outside of fusing decks, which I completely agree with. And then um, more than most also mentioned that they think that it does something particularly interesting rather than destroy a creature, but that's a gut instinct. So far we are on the Bone Scythe Reaver path by destroying a minion and then destroying a level 1 creature. So we shall see right now what the level 3 does. So the level 3, Desecrating Terror, if you have 3 or more spirits in your banish pile, give one of your creatures +6/+6. And if you have 3 or more spirits in your banish pile, you may destroy a level 1 or level 2 creature. So Desecrating is Bone Scythe Reaver on a stick, except obviously you need spirits in your banish pile. And then Terror basically follows the same synergy, but it's +6/+6. So it doesn't have to be itself. It could be itself, which is nice if it's the only card you play. So Sam, what do you think about this before I get into anything else?
Um, we're going to see a lot more Bone Scythe Reaver, I guess.
For sure. So as a whole, Desecrating as an ability, I think, is really exciting. I think Desecrating Spirit is one that we said would be really interesting. If Necromancer is out here, I feel like Desecrating Necromancer could be fun, just being a way to kind of kill a minion, kill a creature, benefit you for having spirits, because anything that basically will upgrade a card that you can upgrade a spirit without playing it will get you more consistency for getting your Desecrating ability. Now, Terror, being a zombie mage, it triggers a lot and it kind of synergizes with a lot of things. So if you have like Brood Out, that gives your zombies a buff, or if you have Commanding, or
Commanding, yeah.
other things like that. So again, we don't know what's in set 3 yet. But
General's Wrath.
yeah, it's like there's a lot of ways that you could get the benefits off of zombies, but then mage is also just a really strong archetype. So if you pair this with like a level 1 deck that's got like Conflagrate, it's like that this will still like trigger your mages. So obviously here, like we were saying, we want this to be in a deck with a lot of spirits, or at least a couple spirits. Because it does not trigger off of minions, because minions will not be in your banish pile. Relentless Wanderers and Mystical Tangle Sprout are so far, and then also Light Spirit Weaver, is that the name of the card? That's one I haven't played a lot of, so I always forget the name of it.
Lightforge
Lightforge Sentry.
Sentry.
I don't know where that came from, whatever I said. Lightforge Sentry is also a spirit, so there's not too many spirits right now outside of purple that you could
Yeah.
pair this with. But knowing that Haunting is an ability that basically adds spirit to a creature that already exists. Could be fun for the. I assume that's only an Utera modifier. Knowing that Utera Necrom is kind of where this whole spirit synergy is going to be. But it's interesting
Um,
to see. So, what are you say?
we have the Dire Hound now for spirits.
Oh,
We have the Frostveil Keeper for spirits. We have Hantu, the Spirit Dragon. Um,
did you
I see.
mention?
We have the nope. Rooted Leafkin does not count.
Did you mention Frostveil Keeper as well?
Yes, I
The
did.
Spirit Warrior, or whatever.
Crypt Haunter is another one,
So actually, I'll bring up my other screen real quick. Let me actually get this
and that's about
onto,
it as far as I know. Haunting is for both Necrom and Utera.
which
The
is
one
cool.
thing that I will mention is like this just tells me that minion decks are going to continue to get hosed.
That is true. So it's like I definitely want desecrating on some creatures that I'm okay having later in the game that I might not want to play in early, but play it as an underdrop. Like I feel like just in general, like I'm trying to think what I would love it on. But like everything I keep thinking of is all would be betrayers. So it's like I don't want to be that greedy. Um, but yeah, while we're talking, I put all 3 levels of Desecrating Terror on the screen as well. But Frostville Keeper, which is the Charge Plated Podcast spoiler, I think is a really cool card that synergizes with something like this. So it's a 6/6 aggressive at the start of the turn, destroy this, and it's a Spirit Warrior that's in Tempest. So what I'll do, let me get it on the screen. I'll just share Discord.
Yeah, getting the modifier on the spear is definitely really strong than Dunku. Um,
Here we go.
having a haunting terror, so it's a spirit zombie mage.
So here's the Frostville Keeper from the spoiler chat for anyone who's, well, I guess I was gonna say anyone who's watching the stream, but Newt would be the only one who wouldn't be, but they're definitely on the stream here. Um, so Frostville Keeper being a spirit that's gonna destroy itself, it's an interesting card that I think synergizes well with the terror because of the fact that like you're gonna get most likely push damage with it because who's gonna want to block and kill a creature that's gonna die anyway, and it gets you a spirit in your banish pile like pretty immediately that could then synergize off of something like your terror. And obviously the level 2 of that is the same kind of thing except it's an 8/8, and the level 3 ends up being at the start of your turn destroy an enemy creature with decreased health. So I think this is just a card that with something like terror and something like desecrating, you could be happy playing something like this knowing it's going to push damage early to get a lot of benefit late game to also really benefit off of your terror. So let me get the terror back on the screen. So just seeing kind of that ability to destroy that spirit and trigger both desecrating or terror, and it also could trigger something like shambling or any of the other cards that really care about one of your creatures dying. Like it could be really interesting to see how those all synergize together, and like that's outside of the whole Necrom Terra pairing, so you could really see benefits of that with some of these other odd pairings as well. Um, so Novambi mentioned the underdrop issue when you only have 1 or 2 spirits will get awkward for the level 2 terror if you could be trying to kill a level 1 creature in cycle 3, which is even worse than Bone Scythe. So that's a good point, for sure. But the fact that like desecrating could end up being an ability on something else that you want to play where you don't feel as bad. Like, let me look through some creatures that this would be fun for in Necrom. So give me a sec to bring up the list.
Yeah, send you the meme audio that I was talking about earlier for a matchup.
All right, so I think that desecrating could be really interesting. First of all, we said spirit because obviously you can play a desecrating spirit at level 1 and kill itself and then destroy a minion. So that will always keep you on track if you don't have another spirit in your discard pile. Another card with like desecrating that I could potentially see is like, for example, if Harvesters in the set, where it's something that you're okay playing underdropped if you're playing a scientist based deck, and it's like ends up being something where you play the Harvester, you now have a kill. If you obviously Harvester is not a great option because of the fact that scientists and spirits are probably conflicting, but you know what I mean. It's like a card that you don't mind underdropping, but also getting value out of.
Drake is a good one because it's the dinosaur. Dinosaurs are
Ooh.
great.
Sure, sure, we'll say that. Um, I could see Reaper being a pretty cool one because Reaper is also a spirit,
Oh
and
yeah, Reaper would
um,
be a fun one.
that's a card that like if you don't play it early and then you play it later and then you have the ability to destroy something, that could be pretty fun. If Shambler's in the deck or in the set as well, so I don't know if we have confirmed or denied that yet. Desecrating Shambler could be fun because you want to kill your own creatures, and then as you do it, you're filling up the banish
Oh yeah,
pile.
the desecrating actually doesn't say enemy creature either, or enemy minion. It just says a. So you could kill your own creatures with it.
If you, oh yeah, that's actually a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
so
that plays into the destruction synergy that we're seeing in Tempest and Necreon.
that could be a fun little like way to use this card for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Now people will make fun of me for playing desecrating and killing my own creatures.
Is Bone Scythe Reaver, is it enemy only? Now that I'm thinking
I
about it.
think Bone Scythe is enemy only.
Bone Scythe Reaver is destroy an enemy minion. Yeah, destroy an enemy level 1. So it's like that's the kind of thing that could be fun with something like a Broodfang. Even like you could destroy one of your own creatures to deal minus damage or minus stats. Like there's definitely a lot of cool ways that you could kind of like finagle triggering your own creatures to like push extra benefits off of the whole self destruction synergy. Um, I'm excited to see how this card plays out. I'm excited to see some of the other modifiers as well. Like, I feel like the Haunting Terror is probably one that I wouldn't care as much about in terms of the fact of the ability, but having a zombie mage spirit would be pretty awesome. Like, do we have any um, three subtype creatures yet?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
So Haunting is going to open up a lot of triple subtype if it could be on a triple subtype creature or on a double subtype creature already. Um, yeah, I think that overall, this whole spirit synergy makes me excited. I know I'm going to be looking for Betrayer Howl of Ziths and Betrayer Spirit Leashes, just for the sake of I think that they would be fun to pair and play, and both of those would have to have some sort of spirit synergy with them. So it could be interesting. It's probably going to end up in just Utera, right?
There's not even room for Spirit of the Correct.
I wonder if it would just end up being smaller font.
Yeah, I'll put it in 4-point font.
Yeah. But this is a card that definitely excites me. It opens up a lot of really cool, interesting lines. And I do think that was really a good catch, noticing that it could be destroy a creature, not one of your enemy creatures, with the desecrating modifier.
Does that play with some of the other spoilers that we've seen? It plays with my Corpus Glyphs because so you can buff attack. Plays with Malicious subtype that gives creatures a bonus attack as well. Does it play with Hantu? It plays with Hantu as well.
Kind of, yeah. Especially because like if you have a lot of cards, so like again, we don't know how many cards are going to have that whole if you have X amount of spirits do something abilities yet.
Mhm.
Um, if there ends up being a lot of cards that do that ability and you have a Hantu out, like Hantu being a spirit, um, right off the bat would help like trigger those abilities. But at the same time, it's like, hey, do we actually want to give you a creature in your banish pile so you could actually turn on that ability, depending on how strong some of these spirit based abilities get. So I think that would be fun to have Desecrating, Terror, Hantu all in the same deck.
Yeah, it'd be
Um,
nutty.
I'm looking to see if there's anything else.
Yeah,
And
immediately
actually,
searching spoilers.
Crypt Haunter
We are
too.
missing one spoiler. The one from yesterday, the
Oh,
Soulblind,
true.
but it's not a spirit, so it doesn't matter.
Crypt Haunter is a spirit. I actually didn't like think about that until right now. So that's another card where it's like you're happy for it to get destroyed early to like help with your desecrating or terror, any other abilities that care about spirits being destroyed, and then the level 3 Crypt Haunter just reanimates your other Crypt Haunters. So at that point, you don't care about them necessarily being in your banish pile if you want to kind of go through the whole Crypt Haunter ability. But then at the same time, like your level 1 and your level 2 and you reanimate it likely are going to be destroyed that same turn and make their way back into your banish pile. So it'll definitely be really interesting to see like what other cards just have the spirit subtype that could just out of nowhere synergize really well with these decks. Cool. All right, so what I will say is right now I think it's getting a little late for both of us. We will have to do the third match of that pairing at some point
So
soon.
you can destroy me?
I don't know. Like again, it's something where it shows that this errata doesn't eliminate Rumblespark decks in any way. I would say again, it does improve the percentage points of some of the non-Rumblespark decks because you have a little bit more flexibility in the whole combat phase of being able to chump block and so on. But at the same time, it's like it still could push so much damage, and there's still a ton of really good removal. And Darkheart's still an
Mhm.
insane card, whether or not you're getting those extra triggers. So like red purple Spellslinger was one of the top archetypes like going into set 2. So it's like
Yep.
it's still really strong, and it's like now just because you don't flip your rumble as much, it still
I
means it's still a really solid archetype.
I played that in Indy and dropped one game.
Yeah, for sure, and it's a great deck, and it's something that I'm definitely interested to see how some of the other Rumble Spark decks that deal a little bit more with the whole like it doesn't have the same stealth, it doesn't have breakthrough. Um, I'm interested to see kind of how that will adjust the feeling about playing against those decks. But like Elemental's Ritual, still an insane card. Like,
Managu pointing out that the first flip was always the most impactful is 100% true.
oh, I agree, 100%. Once you flip the first time, then it's like it's alive, it's on the board, you got to deal with it. I
Mhm.
just know playing against it, knowing that there's always the risk of a Dark Heart hitting the board. If you're on Forge, it's like you almost don't want to kill that. You don't want to put something in front of the Rumble Spark that's going to potentially kill it, knowing that it's just going to come right back. So it's like knowing that you could have a little bit more flexibility in your lines for blocking, for attacking, for when you have to remove Dark Heart, which is usually immediately, but you don't have to remove it as immediately in certain situations, knowing that they can't immediately flip just off of the death. Now, obviously, you still have stuff like Grave Pact, which will still do the flip anyway. It's just, I know, like, like for me, it just opens up a little bit more consistency on how I could play the game against the deck. And it kind of closes a couple of those, if they have the Dark Heart here, this is going to destroy me. To okay, the Dark Heart's not great for me still, but it's not going to take away the game. Like they still have to flip again. They have to have the spell. It has to live through. Like the Dark Heart has to live through the immediate of the next turn. So it's interesting. It's like I definitely want to play the matchup more and see how it lands and how it feels.
Yeah, we'll have to do it sometime.
Um, So one thing I will mention as well for everyone who's watching, the last of the Grey Viking Games qualifiers is going to be this weekend on Saturday. So Saturday at 8 p.m., just like it was last week as well. That's where we have it scheduled. Um, Anyone who has at least one qualifier point, and you get a qualifier point by playing through the full event, whether or not you win or lose, as long as you play every game, will have the opportunity to potentially enter the final draft event. So it's an invitational where the top 6 people on the leaderboard, as well as 2 random people who have at least 1 point, will be able to get involved. Later this weekend, or this upcoming weekend, Scuba Toad is going to open all of the decks for the draft. There's going to be a collection manager that has what's it called, that has all the decks that are opened. Everyone will kind of be able to look at them, and then basically we'll be able to draft through kind of like a fantasy football snake draft. What decks you get, you're going to keep them no matter what, as long as you qualify, and then everyone's going to be playing in a 3-round unranked tournament to try to win some store credit from Grey Viking Games. So it's completely free to enter. This Saturday 8 p.m. Is the last qualifier, and then there'll be more details posted on the Discord at some point today or tomorrow. So anyone who's interested, feel free to reach out, look for the posts. But they have been really fun events. We've had 10 to 14 people, I think, at each event. So definitely recommend trying to join, even if it's just to try to get your name in for the random slot for the invitational.
We also have the digitized dust up. The
Yes.
auction's happening right now for the next 24 hours. Well, less than 24 hours now. 21 hours or something.
So
And then we have, I think the pairings start on the 11th. And
that
then we
sounds
have
right.
the 2-day break, and then the games actually start on the 13th.
Yeah, and what I will say is, Digi-Guys, me and More Than Most, are going to be winning it all. Put as many bounties on us as you can, because we're still going to win.
We gotta figure out a bet at some point
Yeah, I
for
do
what
agree.
we're doing.
But keep an eye out, because me and Eli are going to be making a theme song for our team.
Oh no.
But yeah, so this is going to be a great event. It's benefiting a great cause. So everyone who has the opportunity to, please go through, read the details that Casey Kid has posted, donate to the cause. It's a really fun way to kind of really help out the community and kind of do good through SolForge. So thank you, Ryan, for putting this together. I think a lot of people are really excited, and it's going to be a really fun event. So thank you for bringing that up, Sam.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything else that's going on? I don't think that there's really much else I could think of.
I would say just make sure CardboardNewt does do a bunch of streaming. They do great content. Definitely check out their Twitch channel. They will stream. When do you typically stream, or has it been kind of when you have the time?
Lately it's been Fridays. I'm not streaming tomorrow. I know that because I'm kind of taking a break after 2 guest appearances this week.
Yeah, you're a
Um,
popular individual this week.
Apparently, yeah. But I should be streaming next Friday. I have something special next Friday going.
Oh,
So
is it that you're going to be leaving the community forever? Is that the special announcement?
no, it's
I'm
we
just
get
kidding.
paired for our digitized dust up, and then I get wrecked.
No,
Oh
but
wait, Mundugger's on my team. Never mind, we're going to win.
oh
Everything's fine.
yeah. No, but yeah. So definitely make sure to check out Cardboard Newt's channel. I also would say definitely check out yesterday. Cardboard Newt was on the Stoneblade stream, testing out the client, playing some cool stuff, and breaking the client a little bit as well. So I know I personally need to rewatch that stream today or tomorrow. Now that I'm gonna have a little bit of availability, but that seems like that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I was laughing and having so much fun when I broke the client with my Mad Lab deck.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to see. So.
I couldn't stop myself from giggling. Thankfully, I don't think my mic picked it up. We'll find out.
Oh, I hope it did. And I'm gonna make like a soundboard thing out of it, and that'll be the one
Oh
thing on my
no.
soundboard, and it'll just be you giggling. But yeah, so definitely make sure to put bounties against Cardboard Newt and Mundungu, because they're both losers. No, they're not. But um, it's definitely I feel like there's a lot more, there's pride that's on the line here in addition to this tournament. So me and Eli are
Got
gonna
a
win it all.
rivalry.
Don't worry.
Got a rivalry against you and the Shuffle Bus crew, specifically because of Jesse.
Yeah, thinking that you were Nathas.
Yeah,
I get it. Well, at least you got that recognition for a little bit.
yeah. The my only claim to fame.
Yeah, that's true. You'll have a claim to fame eventually. You're the Shard King, the Shark King.
Yeah, going 0-3 in every event. Let's go.
All right, cool. So yeah, we'll definitely, me and Cardboard New will schedule kind of the last match of this best of 3 with the 2 worlds decks at some point. Because that'll be a lot of fun to see who would win through another game. I will be streaming, like I said, this Saturday is my next stream for the last Great Viking Games event. Other than that, I guess what I would say is I'll try to stream something next week as well. We will be actually doing a couple of things related to the Great Viking Game stuff over the next week. So, like I said, just watch out for the announcement from Scuba Toad coming soon. That'll have all the details. So yeah, with that, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thanks Cardboard Newt for joining us. Definitely, it was. Well, I said joining us, joining me. Well, I guess you did join everybody because you were here. But
It's true.
it was a lot of fun having you. Definitely enjoy the games that we play, and I know we definitely need to get on the stream a little bit more and play some cool stuff because we've been talking
Play
about it
some
for a
souls.
while.
Yeah, we haven't played my Grapple Shard King. Speaking of Shard King.
That's true. We'll have to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't worry, Shark King will win Worlds coming up. 2024 Worlds, Shark King.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that'll be the thing. We'll both bring Shard King to Worlds, and we'll both crush the tournament because obviously it's the only archetype that matters.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. And Desecrating Terror is awesome. All right, see you later.